Here come the boys. Y'all ready to go swimming, baby? Come on. Give it up. Get out of that water. I tried telling y'all, it's swim lessons, baby.
It's State B Week. Let's go. One of the best weekends of basketball here in the great state of North Dakota. My guest today has a team that's going to be a valuable one to that tournament, and that is Bishop Bryan head boys basketball coach Broderick Bosch, a.k.a. Brody, a.k.a. Coach Bosch. And it was a lot of fun for me to go watch a little practice from the Bishop Bryan Lions as they prepare for the state tournament this weekend right here in Minot, North Dakota. And I appreciate what he had to say. And listening throughout practice, we talked about some things he has, a lot of values, some of the morals he tries to instill with his team. And I appreciate his time, and I appreciate the Class B tournament, baby. It's the best time of the year. But Dallas, who helped us get here? And let me tell you who. That is all of our great sponsors today. It's PSP Network. This weekend we'll be doing audio-only coverage. Me, Owen Patterson, Bryce Gutnick possibly, of the State B right on the PSP YouTube page. All you got to do to find that is go to PSP Network on YouTube, and then also make sure you check out everything they have to offer on their official website. That's psp.network. Nick Holberg and the crew do a great job. Appreciate their sponsorship, and also they've got a lot of fun things on that website, future endeavors, which we're going to be coming up on, and also just a cool thing to check out if you're a fan of student athletes. Next up is River's Edge Bar and Grill, one of the best places to eat and drink in Williston, North Dakota. River's Edge Bar and Grill is known for offering the best happy hour in town, providing unbeatable deals in a lively atmosphere. Guests can also enjoy a variety of entertaining activities, including bingo, trivia, and the very popular Name That Tune. Come down to River's Edge for great drinks, great food, and great fun. And Glosso Angus, they are a proud sponsor of Swim Lessons, the podcast. They are your premier source for registered Black Angus cattle since 1973. Glosso Angus cattle showcase dominance, durability, and docility, and they're built to thrive on the northern plains. Check them out. That's Glosso, Glasoe, Angus.com. Hey, folks, also make sure you check out Plains Window Cleaning, interior and exterior window cleaning on residential and commercial buildings throughout North Dakota. Call Jacob today at 701-609-0405. Again, that's Jacob Broughton at Plains Window Cleaning. Without further ado, I give you the coach, the head man for the Bishop Bryan Lions, Coach Bosch. Coach, thanks for doing this today. Greatly appreciate it.
Yeah, you bet.
Thanks for letting me come watch practice. I mean, as a former coach, I think my favorite thing was practice. How about you?
Yeah, I mean, just nothing to not really like about basketball. So yeah, getting to see the kids every day is huge. And when you love basketball, getting to do it every day, there's nothing better.
I mean, I said this to you after you wrapped up practice, but everybody knows about Ramsey Walls. Your center, all-state player, fantastic. He's going to go on to Minot State next year. But to watch him at practice and see the little things he does, the extra high fives, the let's goes, the go, come on guys, let's get set here. Come on, let's go. Like, that is huge in a leader.
Yeah, him and Jet, but especially somebody who's going to go to play on the next level when he can give everybody else confidence. It's huge, especially for a coach, to have somebody on the floor who can be an extension of you is something so important to a successful program, and he understands that big time.
How about Jet Lundeen? I mean, very universal player, if that makes sense. I can play the 1 through 5. I saw him my favorite thing about Jet, and when Jet hears this, he might laugh, but I have an over-under of about 50 on him touching his hair, redoing it and stuff, which I like. Mm-hmm. But, I mean, he's kind of that flashy, I can go towards the hoop, but I can take you outside too, which I appreciate.
Yeah, he's just a natural athlete. He's a natural basketball player. He's a natural football player. He's one of the most natural leaders I've ever seen, and I think that's why it makes him such a good quarterback in football. I think he's going to succeed big time on the next level, especially at Minot State. I think he's going to get playing time pretty quick. But yeah, his basketball game is it's something that he doesn't work on in the off season as much as bigger named kids. He doesn't play AAU or anything like that. He's throwing footballs all summer, lifting weights. He's just one of those kids that's good at everything, just natural talent. Just a natural athlete.
Yeah, he's phenomenal. Let's talk about what everybody in the state was talking about, Coach. The district tournament. I mean, I talked to everybody because I was working with PSP for it. They called it the mini state tournament, and that was your district tournament. I mean, loaded with talent. That semifinal game between you guys and West Hope Newburgh was as physical as a game I've seen in a lot, and I was going to the WDA tournament for AA. I mean, very physical. You and the Sioux know each other. Like, take us back to that district semifinal game.
I mean, anytime you play them, it's a battle. Playing up in West Hope's one of the hardest places to play, first of all. And I think anytime Walker Broughton sees purple, he's probably scoring over 25 points. He's so hard to stop. And then you have Braden Bailey, who's one of the best basketball players in the state, and you got to tell you, he's one of the best kids, too. Just as a respectful young man. And so is Walker. But yeah, you play them, and it's how do you stop him and not lose him?
Right.
And then they have shooters all around them as well. So they're so difficult to stop offensively, and then they're a pretty good defensive team as well, especially when they put that press on. Tolstead down in the middle is way underrated. He's a great player. But yeah, every time we play them, it's how do we get to advantages and how do we stop them from getting to their spots?
Yeah, I mean, let's talk about Walker a little bit because, I mean, they're trying to go back to back, and in that game, Walker had the injured ankle, maybe 60, 70%. But then a weird play happens during that game, and Ramsey Walls hits a layup. He comes down, and it wasn't like he meant to do it or anything, but his elbow hits the point guard in the face. What was his name again? I drawn a
Braden
blank.
Bailey.
Braden Bailey's face. I see Bailey come running off the floor, and he's like holding his mouth. I'm like, oh, that can't be anything bad. Like, chipped tooth, he'll be back. Didn't see him the rest of the game. And then come to find out he had something really bad happen. I don't know if it was a broken jaw or what. And he comes back, and he's wearing like a medieval times esque helmet, and he plays. I mean, what a story that is.
Oh, yeah, he's a tough kid. But yeah, that play, I didn't know till after the game. Coach Lee was like, yeah, he might be done. And I was like, what? Like, what? I didn't know what play happened, where it happened. I mean, earlier in the game, he hit the floor pretty hard. I thought it might have been that. And then during the game, obviously, I remember him running off. Thought he had a bloody nose.
Yeah.
And then, you're sitting in the game like, okay, where's Braden? And then, yeah, something with his teeth. I had to watch the play the next game because I didn't know when it happened. And I saw Ramsey just coming down, and Braden was in the wrong spot. And then the next day at practice, we got him a card and stuff. I know Ramsey texted him. He's like, all the guys were like, kind of giving him a little crap about it. And he's like, guys, I didn't mean to. And they know that. They're just, how kids are. And you could just see in Ramsey's face how bad he felt. So, yeah, that was a freak play. And, I mean, even they knew, like, Ramsey's not the type of kid that would do anything like that. But yeah, Braden came back. I thought his season was over, and I'm so glad it's not because he is so fun to watch. But the toughness from that is incredible.
Oh, I mean, you can't teach that.
No.
You can't teach that. So then you go to the championship. You guys beat West Open in a great game. And then the championship game, I hadn't seen our Redeemers too much, but I watched them come out in their warm-ups, very crisp passes, very fundamentally sound. You guys come up, I don't know, how would you explain that game?
In the region or the
district championship?
District championship, one of the most fun games I've ever coached. I was
going to say, yeah.
You're kind of relaxed because you made it to the regional, which is already the toughest part. So it's kind of like, let's have some fun. We know this team. We've played them twice already. They know us. Just got to do the little things. Whole game was amazing. So fun to watch all those athletes on our team and their team just battle. There's good matchups all over the floor. Coach Teets and his staff, my staff, kind of trying to pick up what each other's trying to do. And it's just each way, Teets said it's like a brick wall, trying to run through a brick wall, trying to score, and then trying to get stops. It's so tough on both ends of the floor. We both have great locker rooms of kids that just want to win. So yeah, it came up to, I don't remember in that game if we were up going into the final minutes of the fourth. I know the regional one we were, but We just missed a couple of the little details at the end that made the biggest difference in both of those. Came down to they got a couple offensive rebounds, and we turned the ball over a couple times, and just little things like that in the biggest games are the ones that can make or break you.
Hey folks, hope you are enjoying this episode. But support for Swim Lessons, the podcast, comes from Brandon Weber, your Edward Jones financial advisor at 1600 2nd Avenue Southeast, Minot, North Dakota. For more information, visit edwardjones.com. Edward Jones, member SIPC. Oh, I loved in practice today when you said that at the end of practice. Like, guys, what's going to make us between taking third at state or winning state? And I can't remember who raised their hand, but they said little things, and your eyes lit up. And you're like, yes, little things.
Write it on the board before every game. In our pregame notes, it's all about the little things. It's those little things that nobody talks about when you're watching college basketball, NBA. It's those little things that snowball. So, like, I mean, in the RE Deemers game, we turn it over 4 times because we didn't get to 2 feet, or we didn't use a ball fake. Like a ball fake is a little thing, but it can make the difference between winning and losing. So it's one thing we try to focus on a lot in practice, just doing the little things, the fundamentals that you don't get when you go, and no offense to people who train, but when you go to a trainer, you don't train ball fakes, and you don't train getting to 2 feet, that kind of stuff. You're working on moves, which is great, but when you're playing team basketball, you have to do those things.
Yeah, no, 1,000%. And I feel like that another thing I liked about practice today was you were doing that like fast break drill, and that was what you were using as conditioning. Brilliant move, by the way. And then it wasn't going as planned, and you go, okay, guys, stop. All right, we can just get in shape here and run at the end line, or we can redo this, start over again, start fresh, and talk and do it the right way. Great move.
Yep, we're doing the little things. Let's restart. You get a second chance. Maybe it's like the end of a quarter, it's a timeout. We'll use this as our timeout. Hey, this isn't us. This is not what we're supposed to be doing. Let's restart. And they know that. I don't want to waste practice time any time in the season, but especially right now, just running. I don't believe in it.
No, seriously. If
you're going to practice, you should practice basketball stuff, get in shape doing basketball stuff. So we don't really run much.
Yeah, just like drills and keeping it going.
Yeah.
So, okay, you advanced to regionals. The regional term was interesting to me because we knew this year, like, it's the second year of the North Dakota High School Activity Association having that like playing game. So not all the chips had to be kind of put in place during the championship. Take us through that regional tournament. I mean, because you still had Velva, who's very good. I mean, Ben Shep is a beast. Then you had you guys, our Redeemers, West Hope made it, and then we bring in this other district from Northwest who probably didn't know what was coming. I mean, they knew everybody was good, but you guys end up sweeping that district, and then it's back to you guys again. So it's just like that mini state tournament you had at districts. What's going through your mind when you're like, okay, now we're going to regionals. We got to play these guys the first game. We got to take care of things. We got to beat them. But then it's back to the same exact thing.
Yeah, and I believe the same thing happened last year, if I remember correctly. Our district, like, I don't want to say we knew it was coming, but we knew it was a great possibility that we'd see our district again. And it's just back to what we do every day. We do, like, nothing changes, I would say. I mean, our first game leading up to regionals, all our focus was obviously on Alexander. Mm-hmm. And then like you said, you turn around, got to go back to Velva. You look at when we played in the first game, they did mostly man. And we knew their zone was coming. We knew what it would most likely be. We worked on it, but they did a tremendous job getting us uncomfortable. Sandro's such a good coach, such a good dude. They played a fantastic game, and we snuck out of there luckily because we did the little things just good enough.
What were your thoughts when you're going through your mind, like when that game's coming down to it, you're like, crap, Velva's playing out of their mind right now. Kind of got us on the ropes a little bit, but what take us into kind of your mind frame when you're in those tight games in the big, because that's a winner go home now. That's a big one. So what were your thoughts on that one?
That was a stressful one for sure. Like, you're trying to stay calm at the same time. You're so frustrated at like mistakes that are happening. But like, as a coach, if you're freaking out on them they're going to start freaking out on themselves. They're going to lose confidence. So it's like a battle of us coaches trying to, okay, we're making these mistakes, but we're doing this good. Let's fix these things and like keep your confidence. We know like you're better than this. We just got to find it. Just try to get through this game pretty much. In my head, I wouldn't say freaking out, a little frustrated, but I know like it's just does not look like us. So how do we get back to us? It's just talking with coaches on my bench, just finding ways.
Well, you got the Bowl kid as an assistant. That's a big hit. Was this his first year as an assistant?
Yep.
Yeah, and he was great at Minot State.
Yeah, Ben is. And then when Coach Edwards was there at Minot State, he used to talk about how Ben would come into the coach's office, ask what we're doing wrong, how can we get better, and he's the same way as a coach. I know he's going to be a head coach someday, and he's going to be phenomenal. Kids love him. They looked up to him when he was a player here, obviously at Minot State. So having him help me and help them is ginormous.
Yeah. No, I like him as well. Okay, so you win that game. You move on. Let's skip up to the championship. Same thing, our Redeemers again. And that was your fourth time playing them?
That was number 4.
Wow. So this is your fourth time. So again, brick wall meets a brick wall. Take us through that game.
We were so beat up through districts, regionals, first 2 games, how physical the postseason gets. And then we're not the deepest team.
Right.
We played mostly 6 guys. So our guys, I could tell we were a little tired. I thought, I don't know, this might not be the day for us, to be honest, going into the game. Sometimes you just have that bad feeling, and I was completely wrong. Our guys they proved how tough they were going into that and being able to put on the performance that they did. I was ecstatic. We played great basketball for 31 minutes. And then, I don't know, our legs got to us and we started losing shooters. They got a couple rebounds, and then Wyatt Weekly is one of the best players in the state. He's hitting shots. They did everything right. Our kids never gave up. We were doing the right things. Wyatt Weekly's making tough shots, and it's one of those games like you sit back and you watch it again, you're like, okay, I mean, there wasn't much else we could do when he's making shots like that. And then Nolan Schmidt making tough buckets down on Ramsey walls, which is so hard to do as well. Turned us over a couple times, and that was the big difference. There's a couple missed rebounds. But again, this new system, we're lucky that we get to lose that one and still have a shot at state.
Yeah, no, 1,000%. And then you guys go against Garrison, right? That was the matchup. Yep. And then you beat Garrison. So now that brings us to this upcoming weekend. My favorite weekend of the year, the State B. It doesn't get any bigger than this. You guys literally got to go, maybe 100 feet over to the dome, which has got to be a nice thing. But take me to you right now when you're walking into the dome for the first game. What's going to be your mindset and what's going to be your mantra for your team?
My mindset is I hope that we can remember who we are, that we don't try to do anything special. Respect the game, first of all. I hope we just focus completely on doing the little things. Because when you get into these big games, it's really easy to just kind of feel like you just have to score the ball.
Yeah.
You kind of forget, okay, I got to box out. I got to make sure I'm talking this screen. I'm making sure that I'm in the right gap. I got to see both. I have to do all these little things. And it's tough to do that in the biggest moments. So mindset for me is just going to be, how can I get these guys to get in a relaxed state, to have fun, be confident, and just play basketball like they know how to. Because Hankins is a really good team. But I just, I tell our guys all the time, they gotta have confidence in who they are and their abilities, because they're really good basketball players. And if they believe that they're the only ones that can beat themselves, then they'll be successful.
Wow, that's spot on. Beautiful. I know if you've been on the internet the last couple of days, a lot of people are upset about the seeding. They say that specifically fans on both sides, how come our Redeemers and Bishop Ryan are going to, if you guys win, now this is putting a lot on you. If you guys win your first 2 games, you'll meet up in the semifinals again, and that'll be matchup number 5. A lot of people upset about it. What are your thoughts personally as a coach to be like, okay, now we're going to play this game fifth time in the semifinals of state?
At first it's like, yeah, you kind of knew you'd hope to see them again.
Yeah.
I think if you saw both of us in the championship, there'd be people who are upset too that way.
Good point.
So, you got to play the best if you want to be the best. That's the old saying. So whether we see them first round, second, in the consolation, if we both lose, like anything could happen. So yeah, first it's like a little upsetting, but then you kind of think about it, and it doesn't really matter.
Right. That's a good point. Usually, and I had to laugh when I saw it because I was like, some of these people are right, but usually it's like it's going to be the 3rd time you're playing a team. But this is like the first time in my life I've heard of a high school team playing a team 5 times. I mean, that's insane.
Yeah.
But it's the way it goes. And then sitting in the background, everybody's forgetting about, and granted, we don't know about the injuries and stuff, is the Sioux. So you also have to think about them. I mean, they're kind of going under the radar for the first time, arguably in Walker's career. Everybody's saying, okay, he's got the bad ankle. The other kid's hurt. This really isn't West Hope's year.
I think they're a team that's gotten they have the chance to be the most improved team in the postseason, losing Walker for a couple weeks and then him even playing with a bum ankle. They got guys that are stepping up big time. The Hawkins kid is...
how about him?
He might have been the best shooter.
Yeah.
He might be the odds best shooter.
Yeah,
since
seriously.
Austin Lee.
Yeah.
It's incredible. And he's taking it to the hoop. All their guys that aren't the big 2, I guess you could say, are just getting filled with confidence going into the state tournament. They didn't expect to have Braden, and now he's back.
Yeah.
So I think they're probably one of the most scary teams at state.
Yeah, I'm with you. And anytime you got a kid like Walker Brown, you got a chance.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, now this is one of the more interesting questions that I love asking coaches, but you grew up around Bishop Ryan, right? You went to high school here. So this is your alma mater. Mm-hmm. So that's like a little more skin in the ball game. But when you took over this program, what was going to be your first step in instilling it to make sure it was going to be successful?
Everything that I learned as growing as a coach, I wanted to bring and kind of restart the culture here, to be tougher. We've had a lot of teams go to state over the past couple decades, but I mean, if you look up there, 94 is the last one.
Yeah.
I think it's right behind me.
Oh, it is behind you. Yeah. Sorry. Your team's been to state a lot.
Oh, yeah. That girls basketball's up there a few times.
Yeah.
Had a good run. But I wanted to bring back doing the little things, being tough, do the gritty work. I wanted to be a gritty program. One that leads with faith. I wanted to be here because of my faith, first of all. The family here is amazing. I love this school, and all the family thing is amazing. Everybody's aunt and uncles, their grandparents. So we got to start by family, doing the little things, faith. And then, I was a part of cultures here that kind of entitled almost, because we're so successful. Not thinking that we deserve everything like that entitled, but entitled like that we have such a good program. We have all these athletes. We win a lot of games. Like, yeah, it's true, but we don't have anything to show for it besides some region championships, which is, don't get me wrong, it's huge.
Right.
I just want us to strive for more. Just by being tough, gritty, doing the little things. So it's kind of what I wanted to bring back here.
Well, I think you did that with a little bit more. You think Ramsey is going to be pretty good at Minot State?
I think so. I think Merkin and his staff they're so good at developing players. You see that with Caleb right now, who's dominating.
Oh, man. Unreal player.
Yeah. So I think, I don't think he'll play right away. Maybe he could. But when he's used to that level, that speed, the physicality, and he gets used to that, yeah, he's going to be a special player.
Is he a vocal leader or kind of a lead by example?
I'd say lead by example more, until he gets to a point where he feels like he needs to speak up. He will for sure. But having Jet on the same team, Jet's usually our vocal leader.
Yeah.
For sure. But I think in a moment, Ramsey, he can be for sure.
On this team, to get a state championship, what's like one of your X factors for players that you feel like if they can play okay, we're going to be really good?
I think it's everybody. To me, basketball, like obviously it's a team game, but it's all those little details and getting everybody else confident. If Jack, Isaac, Mac, Hayden, if they're confident, because I know Jet and Ramsey have the confidence. I know those other guys do. If they see Jet and Ramsey are confident in them, we'll be so much more successful. And then it's, are we going to make all those little plays? Are we going to be on the ground first for 50-50 balls? Are we going to box out? So I think the X factor is if all 5 guys are working together. Because one game, Jack could be the X factor because he's a crazy freak athlete. One night, Mac could be it because he's getting 10 rebounds and he made 3 threes. So if one of those guys steps up each night and everybody else has confidence, I think we'll be successful.
Yeah, what's the lefties, the guard's name again?
Hayden.
I like him.
Well, yeah, he's quick.
I like his game.
He's very quick.
Like
he's
just
smart.
quick, and I saw him drive baseline a few times, do a few ball reversals, and then just some layups. And he's one of those guys too that just keeps the ball moving, like
Yep.
like the extra pass. You just know, like that's a big part. He's like the glue, kind of.
Oh yeah, for sure. He gets us in our offense. He knows where the scorers are, but he also knows that he could score. This year, I think he's turned himself into a threat scoring, not just passing. He's so quick laterally that when he gets to the paint, gets to 2 feet, and he's got all these weapons around him and he knows it, and people are flying out there, he can finish either hand. So yeah, he's been a huge threat for us. He's great.
You mentioned you wanted to stay around Bishop Bryan because of your faith. To expand a little bit more on that.
So I grew up here as a water boy, or grew up in Minot as a water boy.
I saw that on Facebook. That's why I wanted to bring it up. That was a cool picture.
Yeah, my brother, when he played here, I was their water boy, so I always looked up trying to be a Bishop Bryan Lion. Couldn't wait to play for them. But yeah, my faith is important. And that's one thing, I don't know if it would be as important unless I went to school here and learned why we believe what we believe. Just having so many role models here, my family being Catholic, and when you learn about it, yeah, you get to understand it more. So that was pretty important. And then just the school, like how small this school is, I love that as well. So yeah, it's kind of home for me, I guess.
I love it. You know, I've been covering a lot of AA basketball and not taking anything away from that. It's a fantastic game. It's great. But you just nailed it where you said, like, okay, when I'm walking into school, hey, how you doing? How's it going? Hey, good to see you. Hey, how's your grandpa? Oh, yeah, he's doing well. Hey, what's Ramsey up to? Okay, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
Like, that doesn't happen everywhere. But in Class B stuff, it does. And that's awesome.
Yeah, it's the best.
And that's what makes the B so special. And you get all these little teams. Like I saw a team, I was just doing some reading while I was on my way up here to practice, but the last time one of the teams was here, I can't remember who it was. I want to say maybe, was it Oaks? 1995? Like, that's a long time.
Yeah.
And now you get a chance to go back to Minot and play at the Dome. Like every kid's dream.
Yeah, my parents both from small towns, Linton, the Linton Lions.
And they're from Linton?
Yep.
Oh, wow, I didn't know
my
that.
dad is, yep.
Oh, wow.
And then my mom's from Fessenden.
Nice.
So they're with the Harvey area. And then my uncle, my mom's sister's husband is actually New Rockford Cheyenne's assistant coach.
Oh, wow.
And then their last state championship, he was the head coach for the boys in New Rockford. So, and then I got a cousin who plays for Linton right now. So yeah, our family's a big Class B family. I know we're in Minot, so a lot of people don't consider us Class B or shouldn't be, but we like it. Grew up in it, so yeah, feels like Class B feels like home too.
I know a lot of people say that, and I get the whole thing, especially when they split up went to the three systems. But watching you guys in practice today, like you just said, you only go 6 deep. Like it's you don't have many people on the basketball floor at once. Like even when you did that fast break drill, there wasn't that many kids in the gym. Mm-hmm. So it's kind of tough. And I'm a Kansas City Chiefs fan, and everybody hates them now. So it's like, if you got to be the villain, be the Green Reaper.
I'm a Duke fan, so
oh man,
hates
you
it,
know
yeah.
what it's like. Yeah. Is Flag going to be okay?
Yeah, he should be back for the big tournament.
I don't have a college basketball team, but I love to watch Duke. Like phenomenal players.
It's the best defense I've seen them play since I've been alive, I think.
Yeah. I mean, and that Flag play was so weird.
Yeah.
Did he step on somebody's foot, or was it just
Just came down off a rebound and went pretty much completely sideways.
You hate to see that. The stupid Kobe shoes. They get ankles are the worst. Ankles are the worst. Okay, believe it or not, we've been at this for right around 30 minutes. I ask every coach this, every person that's on the podcast, but swim lessons is about overcoming tough times. You mentioned a few things throughout, but leave us with something that maybe somebody listening can make applicable to their life. And when you're kind of backs against the wall, what do you say to yourself to get through the tough times?
For me, give it to God and then focus on the little things. No matter what you're going through, if you give it to God, just take 5 minutes, relax. He's got a plan for you. Everything's through my life. Any tough times, you get over them. You may not get over them, but you get through them. And it's a lot easier when you give it to God. And then if you focus on the little things in life, all those big things that you worry about will come together.
Awesome. Give us a quick plug where people can follow Bishop Bryan Basketball on social media.
Bishop Bryan Catholic Schools on Facebook is pretty much our one main page.
And that's the go-to Facebook. And you can find it on PSP this weekend too. I know PSP, and I had to give a quick shout out to my guy Bryce Gutnick. I think he's arguably the biggest Bishop Bryan fan on the PSP team. He loves you guys.
Bryce is awesome.
It's always like, and I know Coach Anthony Lee and Walker a little bit, so I'm always like, hey man, the Sioux are going to come. And he's always like, don't you count out my Lions now, Dallas. He's like, I'm a Bishop Bryan, so me and him go back and forth. I greatly appreciate your time. Thank you for letting me come watch practice. That was awesome. And good luck at state. Closing thoughts here because when this comes out, it'll be right before the state B. So what's your closing thoughts before we go?
It's going to be such a fun tournament. I think all the best teams made it. I mean, it might have left out one or two of some of the top ranked guys, but it's going to be a battle. So I can't wait to watch and be a part of it. It's going to be so much fun.
Yeah, same here. I'll be calling your guys' games on PSP, so can't wait. Appreciate your time. Thank you again to bringing me in the gym, and best luck this weekend.
Yeah, thanks for coming.
Awesome. That's a wrap.